Severa baby, 3-year-old December gone. When never cut a teeth nor walk nor talk good from it born. When everybody run from shot the pitney holler, pull me girl and run under the bed. Then Amy play white hand. All day she cuss. Poor Amy black. She treat the girl like dog, you see. But that none to what happened that the earthquake night. Me here Severa baby, 3-year-old December gone. When never cut a teeth nor walk nor talk good from it born. When everybody run from shot the pitney holler, pull me girl and run under the bed. Then Amy play white hand. All day she cuss. Poor Amy black. She treat the girl like dog, you see. But when she feel the earthquake shock, she bust open Amy door, jump in her Amy bed, grab Amy all dirty jipper and jump on her head. Hug up Amy and start call her sister in distress. And they holler and go on like she are dead and must confess. Then you must know Becky brother. She only got the one. Him big and long and strapping and go on like Superman. Well, the shock take him in a him bed and by the time it done, he find himself half naked, half mile from him yard and run. The shaming get up, turn round and crawl home back. Yes, how him frightened. Him find all him door and window locked. Him rocks him brain. Him scratch him head. Him search and prowl all about. Him can't get in. Him can't remember his how him did get out. Me no know if him sleep and do the balance of the night. Or if him bawl for help and bringing cowardness to light. But him they go on like mad somebody. Him poor brain still a fight. He try to remember is which part him walk, run away, the earthquake night.
Aye, aye, aye.
We are indeed preserving our culture when we can have youngsters like this young man, Mr. Okiri, coming and giving us a Louise Bennett. Then we know that the positive traits of our culture and heritage has been passed on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the opposition leader's message will be read by Councillor Kerry Thomas, Councillor for the Mount Salem Division.
Claudette Bryan, JP, and Mr. Bryan, the Office of the Custos Rotolorium of St. James. Deputy Mayor Leroy Williams, representing the Office of the Mayor. Member of Parliament for Central, Mr. Heroy Clark, representing the Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Councillors of the St. James Municipal Corporation, and all other dignitaries, good morning. Good morning. The message from the parliamentary opposition, the Honorable Dr. David Phillips, MP and leader of the People's National Party. This year, celebration of National Heroes Day coincides with the 80th anniversary of the 1938 Labor Rebellion. In that year, two of our national heroes, the Right Excellent Norman Manley and the Right Excellent Sir Alexander Bustamante, provided the leadership for the Jamaican people, which helped win social and political rights that were denied for a century following emancipation. These include ultimately the right to vote, the right of workers, and all the other rights such as freedom of speech and association, which are today enshrined in our constitutional charter of rights. One of the most important of these rights was the right of workers to organize through their trade unions. This provided the foundation to win many more significant rights and benefits for our workers in subsequent decades. Today, many of these hard-won rights and benefits are at risk. Both Bustamante and Norman Manley would have vigorously protested today's widespread practice of calling full-time workers independent contractors, thus depriving them of many of their benefits, such as pension rights, maternity rights, and sick leave, among others, which were won over the years through collective bargaining process. So as we recognize and celebrate the achievement of our national heroes, let us commit ourselves to ensuring that the gains secured for the workers are protected. We also must remember that effective nationhood and nation building must be inclusive of all Jamaicans. Progress and prosperity must include everyone. Most importantly, our workers. We must remember too the importance of volunteerism in nation building. All across the country, it is the ordinary Jamaican continuing to give service in their neighborhood watch, their youth group, their citizen association, and community centers are helping the indigent and the elderly that keep our nation together. They are the ones who ensure that as best as possible, we do not leave any Jamaican behind in our quest for progress. We urgently need a renewal of that spirit of volunteerism that expands the educational opportunity of our people and which provided the foundation for the community building effort of Jamaican welfare in the 1930s. Ideally, each and every Jamaican should be a part of their own community development process and should be a beneficiary to the progress of the nation. Fortunately, there are thousands of our ordinary Jamaican citizens whose daily contribution to nation building makes them national heroes and heroines in their own rights. We would do well to emulate these Jamaicans who continue to give voluntary service every day. National Heroes Day also provides us with the opportunity to honor our heroes of the past by emulating their commitment and fixity of purpose to build a better Jamaica. So, in honoring our heroes, let us summon up the strength of Daddy Sharp, the bravery of Nanny, the determination of Paul Bogle, the empathy of Bustamante, the vision of Marcus Garvey, and the integrity of Norman Manley. Let us all use today to revive our spirit to build a progressive Jamaica that offers opportunity for all our people. May our reflections on this Heroes Day call us into action. God bless you. God bless Jamaica. A message from Dr. David Phillips.
I now invite Member of Parliament for St. James Central, Mr. Heroy Clark, to read the Prime Minister's message.
Mrs. Claudette Bryan, JP representing the office of the Custos Rotolorum of St. James, and Mr. Bryan, Deputy Mayor Leroy Williams and Mrs. Williams, representing the Office of the Mayor. Members of the Councillor Kerry Thomas, representing the Office of the Leader of the Opposition. Bishop of Montego Bay Church Elders, President of the Ministerial Fraternal, and other members of the Ministerial Fraternal. Major Garth Anderson, representing the Commanding Officer of the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Defence Force, and other members of the Jamaica Defence Force. DSP Vernon Ellis and other members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Superintendent Dolphin Doman and other members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade. Captain Cordell Norman, representing the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force. Head of the Regional Operation, Jamaica Custom, Robert Gordon, Major. Head of the Regional Operation, Passport, Immigration and Citizen Agency, PICA. Former Government of Jamaica Ministers, MPs and former parish councillors. Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, Head of Government, Department and Agencies in St. James. Ms. Chrisanne Douglas, Miss St. James Festival Queen 2018, Head of the Tertiary Level Institutions in St. James, Junior Mayors, Junior Councillors, Head of Local Uniform Groups, members of the disabled community, members of the community-based organization, cultural club represented, members of the media, other special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. Good morning. Prime Minister message. Greetings, my Jamaican family. Today on National Heroes Day, we reflect on the National Heritage Week theme for this year. One love, one family, one heritage. It is a fitting theme as we recognize and appreciate the role of the family as the ultimate partnership and the solid foundation on which strong society are built. Today we celebrate our heroes, past and present, who helped to create the bond of love and unity amongst Jamaicans. Those who have gone before, they have gone beyond self and act in the interest and well-being of others, often putting their lives on the line and in some cases giving their lives in order to secure a better life for Jamaican family. Our heroes of the past, Paul Bogle, Nanny of the Maroons, Daddy Sharp, and George William Gordon, they paid the ultimate price in the struggle for freedom, justice, respect, and dignity. Marcus Garvey, Sir Alexander Bustamante, Norman Washington Manley, they all led the struggle for our independence and nationhood. Through their sacrifice, we are a free people, an independent nation, striving to secure justice, peace, and prosperity for all members of our Jamaican family, and doing our part to advance the welfare of the whole human race. Today, we not only celebrate those who have paved the way, but those who continue to do their best for Jamaica, land we love in the service to their fellow citizens. There are countless heroes from all walks of life and in several sectors of business and industry, the public service, medical services, and others who continue to display acts of heroism daily. Jamaicans are extraordinary people, and we see constant reminder of our resilience, selflessness, and fortitude. Today, we celebrate Jamaicans like Selena Reid, Grace Allen, and Kimani Anderson for their courage and heroism. The safety of children at the Walker's place of safety who were trapped by fire. We acknowledge the bravery of Sophia Cameron, Verlin Dowes, and Camille McIntosh, who saved the lives of 22 infants during a fire at the neonatal care unit of the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. We acknowledge Lloyd Nelson and Javon Lewis, who displayed courage in rescuing 5 adults and 1 baby who were trapped inside a building after heavy rains in St. James right here. They are real examples of ordinary Jamaicans who, when confronted with adversity, have acted with extraordinary selflessness and courage to save the lives of others. Likewise, there are Jamaicans whose sworn duty is to put their lives on the line to protect and to serve the Jamaican family. Today, I want to single out the brave members of our security force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force. Some have lost their lives in the line of duty, and many have had close calls. They have suffered serious injuries, such as the soldier carrying out an operation in the hills of St. James, or the policeman on duty in Halfway Tree Square who responded to a robbery and was shot but saved by the grace of God that his phone was in his pocket. It should not go unnoticed that despite the challenges and the point of disgruntlement over conditions and other terms of service, the security forces have stepped up to the call to rid Jamaica of criminal element. While upholding the law and protecting the rights of all citizens, even the criminals, the security forces should be commended so far. Their conduct and responsibility use of extraordinary emergency powers. I wish to commend men and women of the JCF and the JDF for the work that they have been doing in general to combat crime, and particularly for the work and conduct in the zones of special operations and the area declared under state of public emergency. It is unfortunate that for the past several decades, there has been an erosion of public confidence in some element of our law enforcement institution. In the extreme, some communities have come to perceive our law enforcement personnel as the enemy. This is never a healthy situation, and it only gives succor and cover to criminals to act as protectors of the citizens and dispensers of justice. Now the government is determined to change this. We want every citizen to see our soldiers and law enforcement officers as their protectors, as their people who have enlisted and sworn to give their lives to the service of Jamaican families, to keep them safe and secure. We want our security forces to be heroes of our people, the role models for our children, and the symbol of trustworthiness, reliability, security, and peace. I am seeing signs that this transformation of the image and public perception of a law enforcement institution is happening right before our eyes. Once the public trust is restored, the fight against crime will be more effective, as there is no greater tool in crime fighting than the citizens who cooperate with the police to share information and give up criminals in their community. In the same breath, there are citizens who, in spite of the prevailing unhelpful social norms and works with the security force and are providing useful information in the fight against crime. You are heroes in my book. I encourage every citizen to use the special created channels to share what you know with law enforcement, as our forefathers found wise and effective ways of resisting oppression and brutality, which eventually led to our freedom. So it is that today's communities that are held hostage and oppressed by criminals must wisely play their part to resist and expose the criminal oppressor. It is the right thing to do. Peace, prosperity, and progress is our destiny as a people. However, we not only arrived at our promised destination without taking steps to get there, and we will not reach our destination if we are all looking at each other, afraid to take the first step. This Heroes Day, let us resolve as an ordinary citizen to be brave and take the steps to our destiny of peace, prosperity, and progress. Happy Heroes Day to my Jamaican family, and may God continue to bless us and give us courage to action our destiny. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the Governor General's message, read by Mrs. Claudette Bryan, President of the Lay Magistrates Association. She is representing the Custos Rotulorum of St. James, Bishop the Honorable Conrad Pitkin.
Moderator, Councillor Richard Vernon, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Leroy Williams, JP, representing the Office of the Mayor, and Mrs. Williams, Mr. Heroy Clark, Member of Parliament, St. James Central, representing the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Councillor Kerry Thomas, representing the Opposition Leader, Councillors of the St. James Municipal Corporation, members of the Lay Magistrates Association, and other justices of the peace for the parish of St. James, bishops of Montego Bay, church leaders, president of the Ministers Fraternal and other members of the Ministers Fraternal, Major Garth Anderson, representing the commanding officer of the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Defense Force and other members of the Jamaica Defense Force, DSP Vernon Ellis and other members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, ACP Dave McLaughlin and other members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, commanding officer of the 4th Battalion, representing the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force, head of the Regional Corporations, Jamaica Customs, head of Regional Operations, Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, former Government of Jamaica ministers, MPs and former parish councillors, board commissioners and other members of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, heads of government departments and agencies in St. James, Miss Kristen Douglas, Miss St. James Festival Queen 2018, heads of tertiary level institutions in St. James, junior mayor and junior councillors, heads of local uniform groups, members of the disabled community, members of community-based organizations, culture clubs represented, members of the media, other specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. In the absence of our Custos Bishop, the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, I am pleased to read the Governor General's message on his behalf. Message from the Governor General of Jamaica, His Excellency, Sir Patrick Linton Allen, member of the Order of the Nation, Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, member of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander, Knight of Grace of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, Governor General of Jamaica. And his message reads thus: amidst the disturbing stories of man's inhumanity to man, here and across the world, we use the opportunity of Heritage Week and Heroes Day to celebrate the heroism, sacrifice, and national pride of our Jamaican people. We give thanks for our noble ancestors who overcame hardship and injustice, and for our mothers and fathers in the fight for freedom. We pay tribute to the modern-day leaders who envisioned and worked to create a more productive and prosperous nation. Today, we also honor citizens from all walks of life, all age groups, resident and diaspora-based persons, and those who share a love for our country. In expressing their commitment and their loyalty, they would very likely say, virtue is its own reward. That notwithstanding, our people would do well to recognize these individuals, most times unsung heroes, who are the nation builders and who inspire hope among us. As we celebrate with this year's heroes, let us seek to reinforce the concept of one national family. The achievements and recognition of any family member is a cause for the rejoicing of all the members, insofar as we acknowledge that today we shape the legacy we shall leave for future generations. Let us commit to preserving the best of the heritage we proudly claim. I wish for everyone a time of great joy and inspiration. May we seek to make one love truly our continuing experience in the years ahead. Governor General's message. May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Please join me in welcoming students of the Green Pond Primary School to present another taste of our diverse culture. They'll be doing a quadrille, contra style.
Ilangoli bendo bendo low. Ilangoli bendo low. Ilangoli. Ilangoli bendo low. Ilangoli. Take you bendo low. Ilangoli. Ilangoli rider. Ilangoli rider. Ilangoli rider. Ilangoli take you bendo low. Ilangoli take you bendo low. Ilangoli take you go to the Jugana Hill. Ilangoli take you go to the Jugana Hill. Ilangoli take you go to the Jugana Hill. Ilangoli. Oh, Ilangoli, 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 yeah. Ilangoli. dopine kebana yel. Ilangoli eju dopine kebede. Ilangoli. Ah yeah yeah yeah. Ilangoli. Ah yeah yeah yeah. Ilangoli.
Round of applause.
Stay right here. I'm going to use the space over there.
Mr. Sheldon Freeburn has been a member of the media fraternity for over 10 years, serving the Jamaica Information Service. He is president of the Roseville Citizens Association and a member of the Lions Club. His motto is, "To thine own self be true." His community involvement includes mentorship programs at the St. James High School, street feeding of the homeless, and outreach programs to schools. He is a trained mediator. Today, Sheldon Freeburn is the recipient of the 2018 Sam Sharp Award for outstanding service in the area of journalism.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Sam Sharp awardees. Give them a round of applause. They are all high achievers. The Deputy Mayor will now remain with us for another presentation, the Mayor's Special Awards. We will also recognize today 2 individuals who will be awarded the Mayor's Special Award. These persons have been selected as a result of their dedicated contribution to the development of communities and the parish of St. James. They embody the spirit of innovativeness and have dedicated themselves to community development in ways that are far-reaching. The citations will again be read by Junior Mayor of Montego Bay, Susanna Hyde, and Andrew Nelson of Cornwall College. The Deputy Mayor, Leroy Williams, will present the Mayor's Special Awards to Carlton Robinson,
Carlton Robinson was born and raised in Bogue Hill, St. James. He is a dedicated and patriotic individual and is renowned throughout his community for his leadership and vision. He has a passion for service and is a true volunteer in every sense of the word. Robinson has been a committed giver, offering his service to communities for over 30 years by spearheading road rehabilitation, maintenance, and bushing projects. He is a kind-hearted and caring individual. His character is captivating, and his willingness to support community development has seen him contributing to and leading the implementation of projects aimed at solving community-related problems. He has been a consistent contributor to back-to-school programs, which results in an average of 10 students being supported annually with school supplies and other needs. In addition, Robinson is actively involved in a community feeding program which focuses on the elderly, ensuring they receive special treatment, particularly during the Christmas season. While standing firm in the face of challenges, he continues to serve his community. He has a great desire to assist youth who are unemployed and continues to seek ways to support and find solutions for young adults. He is inspired by persons who work with high standards and is also admired by many in his community. A fervent member of the Bogue Hill Baptist Church, Mr. Robinson finds a great joy in serving the Lord and in supporting members of the congregation. Today, Mr. Carlton Robinson is the recipient of the 2018 Mayor's Special Award for Outstanding Community Service.
And our final awardee is Dion Stern.
Miss Dion Michelle Stern, Vice Principal of the Cornell D. Avenue Primary School, is originally from Thompson Street, Montego Bay. Her climb up the academic ladder started at the City Mission Basic School. She continued her education at the College of Agricultural Science and then moved on to the Northern Caribbean University. She received bachelor's degrees in education at both institutions. She also holds a Master's of Science degree in Educational Leadership, which she attained with the Central Connecticut State University. Ms. Stern has a great passion for sports, and as she puts it, sports is her life. From an early age, she has been following her passions for sports since her initial introduction through her school and community. Her commitment to the field of sports resulted in her becoming the head of sports program at her school. She embraces the idea that sports has enabled her to contribute wholeheartedly to people's lives through the team spirit. Her involvement in the field of sports has inspired many, and she boasts that one of her greatest accomplishments was her own success as a netball player on the national level. Another great accomplishment for her is the undefeated reign of the St. James Parish Under-12 netball team, which has been coveted champion for 12 consecutive years. She is the vice president of the St. James Netball Foundation, where she has administered programs that have touched the lives of over 1,000 girls in and around the parish. Also, she currently holds the post of a Western selector in the Jamaica Netball Association, where she is tasked the responsibility of selecting girls from age 16 to send to the national squad. Apart from netball, she participates in basketball and football, and she is a member of the St. James Football Association, in charge of the under-13 and under-15 teams. She's also a youth coordinator for the Western Basketball Association. Her involvement also extends to the community groups, such as Catherine Mount Community Group, where she is currently the president. In this capacity, she has registered the group with the Social Development Commission, from which she actively gets youth to participate in sporting activities, especially netball. The group, through Stern's leadership, has won the parish competition and has been placed fourth on the national level. When she is not occupied in her numerous sporting activities, Dion attends the Mount Salem Open Bible Church, where she's an usher and board member of the women's group. She also acts in the capacity of director on the board of Lay Magistrates Association and is a justice of the peace for the parish of St. James. Committed to helping others through sports, Ms. Dion Stern genuinely believes and loves in people. With over 20 years of service in the field of sports, Ms. Dion Stern was previously awarded National Leader of the Year. Today, Ms. Dion Stern is the recipient of the 2018 Mayor's Special Award for Outstanding Service in the area of sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, The mayor's special awardees are committed to lifting others. Their unselfishness is worthy of commendation. I now invite all awardees to join me on stage as we take a group picture. Okay, stop them.
It must have been colder in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine for so long. You'd always walk to step behind. See, I was the one with all the glory, and you were the one with all the strength. Beautiful face without your name. For so long, I never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I wish I could be. Now I can fly higher than an eagle. For you are the winds beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you my story? And where I'm coming from? I want them to know the truth. For so long that I would be nothing, nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I wish I could be. Now I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind, you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, can I ever tell you you're my hero? Ooh, and everything, every single thing that I could be. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So we have to get you in the mood. I give you some oldies. I can't come up here and not give you this song. Talking about my land. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Talking about Jamaica land. Jamaica land we love. Oh, yeah. There's a land that I have heard about so far across the sea. There's a land that I have heard about so far across the sea. To have you on my dreamland would be like heaven to me. To have you on my dreamland would be like heaven to me. We live together in Jamaica land, so we'll have so much fun. We'll live together on my dreamland, and we'll have so much fun. We'll get our breakfast from the trees, and we'll get our honey from the bees, and we'll take a ride on the waterfall. We'll have the joy of them all, and surely we'll never die, and surely we'll never die. Oh, what a time that will be. Oh, just to wait, 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 ooh, and see. Oh, what a time just to wait and see. Oh, what a time just to wait and see. Give me the next track, DJ. Yeah. So this one's for all our brave women, our strong women. Hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? When the road is going up, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof. if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's so better, we'll write every letter and moving right along. I'll roll with the punches, accept changes, work with the formula, do what I have to do. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When we're willing to serve, we've got rooms to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you talk. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is the beast of my heart. Call me by my name. Once the rules remain the same, you can call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever, ever, ever have doubt. Hey, my name, once the rules remain the same, call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Ooh, are you ready? Are you ready? Ooh, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Next track. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joanna, aka Jayana. Well, it's not so far from my real name. But I'm here today to bring you back, way back. La da 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 da. Whoa. This one's called Strive. And we all know that in order to make it where we need to make it, it's not gonna be easy. Sometimes it's hard, but trying to make it, believe you me. In order to achieve, go forth and take it. Set yourself free. With obstacles in your way, you may fall before you rise. But if you really want good, you know that to run. So get up and keep your eyes on the prize and strive. Step up in line and go forth, you know. A part of the plan, you be have ambition, and the Almighty One as your foundation. Nobody get rich and quick because that's definitely wrong. Listen, if you are thief, remember God not slave. And woman went about the old-fashioned way, and it just kept on winning and winning and strive. You better strive. Step up in life and go for it. You know you've got to strive. Remove the doubt from out your mind and let good flow. You see, people will tell you you'll turn out to be rough, but you can't listen to what people say. And I'm talking to our young people. You've got to get up and not listen and focus on the prize. Be not moved. not moved by smart remarks or people who think they're witty. Keep your eyes moving on the prize and don't indulge in self-pity. And strive, step up in life and go for it. You know you've got to try. Remove the doubt from out your mind and let good flow. You may fall before you rise, but if you really want good, the nose have to run. So get up and keep your eyes on the prize and strive. Oh, step up in life and go for it. You know you got. Thank you so much. Thank you for your ambition and the Almighty One as your foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen,
nobody get rich and rich because
give it up for Jayana. Very good. Very, very good. Give her another round of applause. Talented. Now we are going to salute our national heroes and heroines. But before we do that, let us now stand for the singing of the patriotic song led by Miss Kadiona Young.
Let's begin. I pledge my heart forever to serve with humble pride this shining homeland ever, so long as earth abide. I pledge my heart this island as God and faith shall leave, my work, my strength, my love, and my loyalty to give. Oh, green isle of the Indies, Jamaica strong and free, our vows and loyal promises, our hearts and tears to thee.
Saluting our national heroes is essential in our effort to honor the great works which they carried out. Please join me as we salute our national heroes with respect and admiration. The citations will be read by the students from the following institutions within St. James. Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Citation will be read by Jared Nyongoro and Tejone Henry of Chetwood Memorial Primary. Floral tribute to be laid by Councillor Arthur Lynch.
Pleasant good morning to you all. Today I'll be Pleasant good morning to you all. Today we will be reading about our first national hero, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Jamaica's first national hero was born in St. Anne's Bay, St. Anne, on August 17, 1887, 22 years after the Moran Bay Rebellion. In his youth, Garvey migrated to Kingston, where he worked as a printer and later published a small paper, The Watchman.
As a young man, he was greatly influenced by Robert Love, the anti-colonialist fighter. During his career, Garvey traveled extensively throughout many countries, observing the poor working and living conditions of black people.
In 1914, he started the Universal Negro Improvement Association in Jamaica. The UNIA, which grew into an international organization, encouraged self-government for black people worldwide, self-help economic projects, and protests against racial discrimination.
In 1916, Garvey went to the USA, where he preached his doctrine of freedom to the oppressed blacks throughout the country. However, the officials there disapproved of his activities and he was imprisoned, then deported.
Back in Jamaica in 1927, he continued his political activity, forming the People's Political Party in 1929. He was unsuccessful in national elections, but won a seat on the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation.
But the world of the 1930s was not ready for Garvey's progressive ideas. He left Jamaica again, this time for England, where he died in 1940. His body was brought back to Jamaica in 1964 and buried in the National Heroes Park in Kingston.
Garvey's legacy can be summed up in the philosophy he thought: race pride, the need for African unity, self-reliance, the need for black people to be organized, and for rulers to govern on behalf of the working classes.
History is the landmark by which we are directed into the true course of life. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destiny, that nation's destiny, that race's destiny. What you do today that is worthwhile inspires others to act at some future time. Chance has never satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self, and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom.
Right, excellent. Norman, Washington Manley. Citation will be read by Jador Henry of Cambridge Primary School. Floral tribute will be laid by Councillor Kerry Thomas.
Citation to the Right Excellent Norman Washington Manley, National Hero of Jamaica. Norman Washington Manley was born at Roxborough, Manchester, on July 4, 1893. He was a brilliant scholar and athlete, soldier, First World War, and lawyer. He identified himself with the cause of the workers at the time of the labor troubles of 1938 and donated time and advocacy to the cause. In September 1938, Manley founded the People's National Party, PNP, and was elected its president annually until his retirement in 1969, 31 years later. Manley and the PNP supported the trade union movement, then led by Alexander Bustamante, while leading the demand for universal adult suffrage. When suffrage came, Manley had to wait 10 years and 2 terms before his party was elected to office. He was a strong advocate of the Federation of the West Indies, established in 1958, But when Sir Alexander Bustamante declared that the opposition Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, would take Jamaica out of the Federation, Norman Manley, already renowned for his integrity and commitment to democracy, called a referendum, unprecedented in Jamaica, to let the people decide. The vote was decisively against Jamaica's continued membership of the Federation. Norman Manley, after arranging Jamaica's orderly withdrawal from the Union, set up a joint committee to decide on a constitution for separate independence for Jamaica. He himself carried the committee with great distinction and then led the team that negotiated the island's independence from Britain.
Right, excellent. Alexander Bustamante. Citation will be read by Chevonique Holness of Rompton Primary School. Floral tribute will be Mark McGann.
Citation to the Right Excellent, Sir William Alexander Bustamante, National Hero of Jamaica. Born in Benham, Hanover, on February 24, 1884, Alexander Bustamante was one of the prime architects of modern Jamaica. When he began to make his presence felt in Jamaica, the country was still a crown colony. Under this system, the governor had the right to veto at all times, and this he very often exercised against the wishes of the majority. Bustamante was quick to realize this mass migration did little to alleviate the already tremendous unemployment problem. Bustamante first impressed his name on the society with a series of letters to the Gleaner and occasionally the British newspaper, calling attention to the social and economic problems of the poor and underprivileged in Jamaica. In the years 1937 and 1938, brought the outbreak of widespread discontent and social unrest. In advocating the cause of the masses, Bustamante became the undisputed champion of the working class. He also confronted the power of the colonial governor, declaring, "Long live the king, but then I must go." In 1943, he founded the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, with himself as head. The first general election under universal adult suffrage came in 1944, and Bustamante led his party to an overwhelming victory, and so had the distinction to serve as the first leader of an elected government based on this system. In 1962, Sir Alexander attained another landmark when he became the first Prime Minister of independent Jamaica. He retired from active politics in 1967. He died on August 6, 1977 at the age of 93. We recall his words in 1935, set out in a letter to the editor. "I have one God, one soul, one life, and no matter what happens, as long as that life lasts, and as long as the failure of this government continues, I shall continue to write to pointing out its weakness, not because I love to do so, but it is a duty to my people and my country."
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, excellent. George William Gordon. Citation will be read by K.L. Lauriston of Dumfries Primary School. Floral tribute will be laid by Councillor Yuval Graham.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Citation to Right Excellent. George William Gordon, National Hero of Jamaica, born to a slave mother and a planter father who was attorney to several sugar estates in Jamaica. George William Gordon was self-educated and a landowner in the parish of St. Thomas. In the face of attempts
to crush the spirit of the freed people of Jamaica and again reduce them to slavery, Gordon entered politics. He faced severe odds as the people whose interests he sought to serve did not qualify to vote. He subdivided his own lands, selling farmers to the people as cheaply as possible, and organized a marketing system through which they could sell their produce at fair prices. Gordon urged the people to protest against and resist the oppressive and unjust conditions under which they were forced to live. Gordon was arrested and charged for complicity in what is now called the Moran Bay Rebellion in 1865. He was illegally tried by a court-martial and, in spite of a lack of evidence, convicted and sentenced to death. He was executed on October 23, 1865. Men of ideas outlive their time. An idea held by such a man does not end with his death. His life, bleeding away, goes down into the earth, and they grow like seeds. They hung on from a boom ring in front of the courthouse, but the idea for which Gordon lived did not hang with him. They nailed Jesus between two thieves, but the idea these men lived for did not die with them. A single grain of corn will yield an ear of corn. An ear of corn in 2 generations will sow a field. And these things befall between a moon and a moon. All things await a time and a season. And twice 100 years is not too long, or twice 100 years too soon. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a stronger applause for our national heroes. Right, excellent. Paul Bogle. Citation will be read by
1865. In a violent confrontation with full official forces that followed the march, nearly 500 people were killed and a greater number was flogged and punished before order was restored. Bogle was captured and hanged on October 24, 1865, but his forceful demonstration achieved its objectives. It paved the way for the establishment of just practices in the court. It brought about a change in the official attitude, which made possible the social and economic betterment of the people. An excerpt from Ballad of 65 by Alma Norman. Bogle took his cutlass at Stony Gut, and he looked at the small heap of food he got, and he shook his head, and his thoughts were sad. You can walk like a mole, but the crop's still bad. Bogle got his man, and he led them down over the hills to Spanish Town. They chopped their way, and they made a track to the governor's house, but he sent them back. Then Bogle thundered, "This thing is wrong. They think we weak, but we hillmen strong. Rose up yourself. We'll march all night to the vestry house, and we'll claim our rights." Oh, many mourned, and many were said that day when the vestry flames rose red. They were chopping and shooting, and when it done, Paul Bogle and the men knew they had to run. They ran for the bushes where they hoped to hide, but the soldiers poured in from Kingston's side. They took their prisoners to Morant Bay, where they hung them high in the early day. Paul Bogle died, but his spirit stalked anywhere in Jamaica that freedom walks, where brave men